One time on a podcast, I said something. So many people come to me and ask me so many questions about it. And I wanted to talk about it today because I think it's a really, really important belief to have, but also a really great concept in manifestation. So in this podcast, I said that I can accept a new belief in an instant. This was actually a belief that I decided to have. So notice my agency. Notice the control that I have over my belief systems. So the first step in that was noticing that I believe changing beliefs is hard. That was the old belief, that I had to reprogram my subconscious mind over a long period of time with constant spaced repetition. I needed to write it out. I needed to listen to it. I needed to affirm it and suggest it to myself over and over and over again. And eventually one day I'll believe it. And then once the pattern is changed, I express life differently and I'll have a new outside world, right? We know that our beliefs manifest. Belief precedes manifestation in all ways. So I took a step back and I went, wow, like, does this really have to be this hard? I remember when I first met Bob Proctor and he introduced me to this material, I fell in love with it immediately. And I was like, oh, you're telling me all I have to do is reprogram my belief system and it's going to change my whole life. So I started doing that. And I started doing it in the ways that I was originally taught. I would write things out multiple times, and I would actually record on a voice loop my new identity self-image script. And I would tell myself the same thing over and over again. And the more that I suggested something new to my subconscious mind, I would believe it over time. But I had this thought one day. I'm like, I don't want to listen to this voice loop anymore. I don't want to write this out 1,000 times. Like, I don't want to have to keep doing this. Isn't there an easier way? That opened up my mind to different possibilities. And so you can go online and you can look up, how do I reprogram the subconscious mind? And you will see all kinds of different modalities, all kinds of different ways that you can do it. And I truly believe that all the ways are available, and there's probably thousands of them. We probably couldn't even count them. And there's ways that maybe we don't even know about today right now that we're unaware of, but exist. But the important thing is I wanted to allow myself to be open to a way that would let it be easy. And I mean, let the reprogramming of my beliefs be easy. So I was willing to look at that. And I thought, what belief would serve me the most? So if I believe that it's hard, and if I believe that it takes time, and if I believe I have to just keep doing it, then that's what I'll experience. So what if I believe it's easy? What if I believe that I can change a belief in an instant? And so as soon as I wrote that down, I went, whew, that is real. Like, that is powerful. That one single belief will cause a ricochet through my entire manifestation journey that will make this easier. I'll collapse time. I'll be able to quantum leap. Things will move faster. There won't have to be as much of a gap between the selection of what I want and the observation of what I want. They'll come together closer by simply accepting beliefs faster and easier. So then, of course, this is what I do with everything, is I'm like, okay, where does this belief already exist in my life? So I always look for the evidence that it's already there to actually close the gap on the belief. So then I went, where have I changed my mind really easily before? So notice how I said changed my mind. So when you change your mind, usually it's like this. You're like, nope, change my mind. Nope, not going to do that anymore. I changed my mind. I want to do this. Change my mind. So that's what we're saying, is we're choosing a new belief. We're changing our mind. So for example, I had somebody really close in my life who watched a documentary on the mistreatment of cows, and in an instant became a vegetarian. In an instant decided to no longer eat meat when they had been programmed that deep-rooted belief that meat was good and safe and you should eat it and you enjoyed it, to now I'm a vegetarian effective immediately. Changed their mind, right? So watch something, change their mind. Then I thought about this example, and I know I've shared this before, but it's very profound. I was a new mother. Mason was a little tiny baby, and I read something that popped up on my Facebook. It wasn't even, it might have been a news article that said Johnson & Johnson baby products have carcinogens in them. I was using Johnson & Johnson products. So like this, in an instant, I changed my mind about Johnson & Johnson, threw it all out into the garbage, and went and bought organic products to use on Mason. So there is evidence all around me that I am changing my mind, and I do it effortlessly and I do it easily. And the power of suggestion is really, really big. There is this thing that I've noticed, and I've noticed it in myself, and I've of course noticed it in others, but outside suggestion for some reason seems to carry some extra weight. So if somebody says to me, they suggest something to me about someone else, I'll believe it and I'll change my mind about that person. So let's say I have a dear friend and her name is Anna, and I adore her and I think she's wonderful and I couldn't say a bad thing about her. And then somebody comes to me and they tell me a story about Anna, about how Anna's disrespected them, how Anna wasn't nice and she wasn't kind. Almost immediately I'm like, oh, maybe Anna isn't who I thought she was. So right there, I've changed my mind, because somebody else influenced me to think differently of Anna. And so this is where I want us to be very, very aware and cognizant of all the ways that outside suggestion influences us. This is social media, this is the news, this is the TV that we watch, the documentaries that we absorb, it's the videos we watch on YouTube, it's the podcasts we listen to. We are constantly being suggested things to us, and it is changing our mind almost immediately. So not all of those things are bad, and some of these things are very educational and they're very helpful. But what I want you to do is intentionally listen to things and watch things that influence you to change your mind for the better, to your benefit. So I really don't like to fuel my mind with suggestions from outside sources that don't serve me. So I don't want to hear gossiping. I don't want to hear venting. I don't pay attention to complaining. I really don't allow myself to pay attention to those types of things, because they influence me to think and believe something differently. So manifestation is really powerful, because if you start to use the power of your own suggestion over the power of other suggestion, this is where you shift that narrative. So now I suggest things to myself, and I listen to my own self-suggestion more than I listen to anybody else's suggestion. So what I think about Anna overrides what someone else may tell me and influence me about Anna. But just an example of how important outside influence is in you shifting a belief in an instant. One thing that I really, really believe in is the power of regulating my thinking and seeing my thinking for what it really is. So thoughts are energy, and so they are perpetually transmuting, so thought into physical form. And I do believe that it is possible to spend your thoughts versus invest your thoughts. So when I'm spending my thoughts, I'm not putting in thoughts into the bank of what I would love, but perhaps what I wouldn't love. So I'm spending them. I'm like wasting them versus investing them. So to invest my thoughts would be to think of the things that I desire, to think of possibility, to think of myself in a loving perspective, to think of others in a loving way. So to invest my thoughts is that, okay, does this thought move me towards who I desire to be, that grandest version? If this thought manifests outward, do I want this manifestation? So spending your thoughts is like thoughts of worry, thoughts of fear, thoughts of death, thoughts of this isn't going to work for me, or maybe I'm not good enough, negative thoughts about other people, thoughts of why something might not happen, thoughts of the worst case scenario. Those to me are all ways in which you're spending your thoughts, and you're investing in what you don't want instead of investing in what you do want. So to change a belief in an instant then influences all of those thoughts that follow, right? So if you become a vegetarian because of a documentary that you watched, your thoughts are all going to be shifted from that essential core belief that has been changed. If I change a belief about myself and I accept, you know what? Yeah, I'm a really confident woman. Like, I'm super empowered and I'm really confident. My thoughts are going to follow suit because the core belief is confidence. So what you will find is that almost automatically, any beliefs of doubt, of scarcity, of fear will start to fall off because that core belief has been changed. And so it really is tapping into effortless manifestation when you actually choose to change the beliefs that serve you the most. So the belief that I can accept a new belief in an instant has saved me so much time, so much effort, so much energy, and has allowed me to manifest in a quicker timeline and experience. And it's not to say that some of the other ways are bad or wrong. I never believe that anything is negative or bad. If it works for you, then do it. It's likely working for you because you believe in it. You know, subconscious reprogramming by writing something out 100 times at the end of the day, that worked for me because I believed that that's what I had to do to reprogram the subconscious mind. So today, I will write things out one time, and then I will say to myself, you are it. You believe it now. You have accepted this belief. And then I act in the assumption of that belief. One thing that I know to be true, and I truly believe it is a secret weapon, is your ability to emotionally connect with the new belief. So the example that I gave you about Johnson & Johnson baby products, right? I accepted a new belief about Johnson & Johnson because they hit me right in my heart. That article was like, I have a baby right now and there's no way I'm putting anything onto my baby. I was emotionally connected to it. Watching the documentary and then becoming a vegetarian is an example of something that person had an emotional reaction, emotionally involved with that idea. So the more emotional that you can get about the belief, the faster the belief will change. But it doesn't have to be negative emotion. So I've given you examples of 2 negative emotions, kind of scary or fear. It doesn't have to be that. What I have found in my experience over the past 4 years is that I can get so excited about something, so lit up, so inspired, so happy, so joyful. That feeling manifests for me. So to allow yourself to get emotionally involved with a new idea, with a new belief, that's what brings the new thing in for you. But so many of us are reliving the past. We're living in the old beliefs and the emotional reaction we have to them. One of the most beautiful quotes that I saw, I believe it was Joe Dispenza, but please don't quote me or come after me. But he said something like, a memory without the emotional attachment is wisdom. Right? And so when you take a memory and you remove the story, you remove the emotion, it's simply something that you experience that you now have wisdom from, you've learned from it, you've grown, you're no longer tethered to it. So we want to do that in the opposite, right? We want to be emotionally connected and tethered to the new ideas, not the old. So take that emotion and put it towards what you would love. Take that feeling and grasp onto the possibility, the potentiality of this new experience that's about to happen. And when you fill your mind with that, all of these new empowering beliefs, ways of being, how quickly you will find that your mood will shift, but your subconscious pattern and programs will shift. And you'll look back, 3 days later and you'll be like, I can't believe I ever believed anything different about myself. Like, where have I been? And so you're remembering that you were always there. You're remembering a belief that's always existed in you. And you have simply almost turned your back on it for a short amount of time. But you're willing to now see that you've been it all along. So accepting a new belief in an instant is something that can be effortless if you choose for it to be effortless. Another thing is people tend to fragment this idea in terms of different beliefs. So someone will come to me and be like, I can change a belief about me and my love life like this. I can change a belief about how I am in my job just like this. I can change a belief related to health just like this. But Kathleen, when it comes to money, I can't change my beliefs. They're taking a long time. It's really hard. What is the thing that is making it so hard? And there's one word: attachment. The relationship, the business, the health, you do it because you desire it, not because you need it. So when something has that power over you, that control, you're attached to it, you need it, it is important to you, it's important to be worthy, to be successful, to say that you're proud, to say that you did it, you are attached to that thing. And so when you are attached to the need for it, you are also attached to the beliefs of the old version of you, and you're not gonna let them go as well. So what I will do is I will say to you, what if you make not more than $1 more than what you make today right now for the rest of your life? What would that be like? And if your answer is, I will be happy anyways, I will be grateful anyways, I know this life is good anyways, you're unattached. But when I ask you that question and you say, oh no, I cannot go another day without making more money, you're attached to the need for money. So just ask yourself, how can you move into gratitude? How can you move out of the attachment? And how can you take money off the pedestal? Money for me has become something that I am grateful for. I admire it. I use it. I love it. I welcome more of it into my life, but it is not something that defines who I am. It is not a part of the importance of life for me. And if the money were to all go away tomorrow, I live in the assumption that life is good no matter what. But I also have a belief that I'll just manifest it all back again. So it's all about your beliefs and what you desire and that frame of mind. So I hope that this message about shifting your beliefs in an instant is a powerful one for you, and that it allows you to just ask yourself, like, what if it could be this easy? You know, what if it is that easy? And remember that the limit does not exist.